With all the latest content released in Monster Hunter Wilds, one of the new prominent characters we get introduced to within the Forbidden Lands is the Diva. After assisting the people of Suja, they allow us to utilize their sacred area of prayer as the grand hub, where we get to watch the Diva perform her ritualistic songs. What's truly fascinating though is whilst the Diva is simply a newly introduced character that performs a song that boosts our stats, there's this sudden influx of rumors and theories that this individual heralds the return of a legendary dragon. So to really get us started in this theory, the main source I personally found which focuses on this topic is in this Reddit post right here with regards to the white dress of the Diva and how this may indicate the return of the fabled White Fatalis or Old Fatalis, which seems to be Capcom's preferred name for this enigma. This theory touches on other elements of Wilds that indicate the presence of the legendary dragon like the Zoshia and the blacksmith from previous titles returning, which is legend. However, the main bulk of this theory revolves around a quest description from Monster Hunter Freedom Unite. That's taking us way back to the early days of Monster Hunter. Now, as someone who's been with the series since Freedom on the PSP, with Freedom Unite being the game that really glued me into the series, I knew exactly which quest they were talking about. Back in Freedom Unite, there was an event quest called A White Beam of Light, and the client is known as the White Dress Girl. See where this is going already? In the description, the girl asks the hunter to come with her to a wonderful place where white light dances about, twinkling like the stars in the sky, and then telling the hunter that they won't get bored. This quest has you take on the ancestral dragon, White Fatalis. And since the girl's dress matches the dress of the Diva, people started making this connection of the Diva being similar to the white dress girl in that she may play a part in the return of the ancestral dragon. To give credit to the post itself, the post actually uses the events of Monster Hunter Rise as a means to link the White Fatalis to the Diva, in that there's potential the white dressed girl resonated with the legendary dragon in a manner similar to Hinoa with Ibushi and Minato with Narwa. They state that perhaps the Diva is a similar character to the white dress girl and may have the same power of resonance as the twin Wyverians from Rise. Since Wilds already has another Wyverian who holds strange abilities, the Allharken, some people are speculating that perhaps the Diva also holds that power, and when time comes, the Diva may eventually resonate with the ancestral dragon, thereby heralding its return. Okay, so in terms of my personal thoughts and opinions regarding this topic, I actually do find this theory rather fascinating, and as someone who delves deep into the lore of the series, I do genuinely enjoy seeing the Monster Hunter community come together and speculate how certain elements of the series can link to one another and have lore implications, even if they're just small details like a dress of a certain individual. However, in terms of the direct link between the Diva and the White Fatalis, whilst it's definitely something that could potentially happen at some point in the series, I think at this moment in time, it's more coincidental if anything. Having said this, however, I would love to be proven wrong because as the series has progressed, Capcom has actually used more of the community at times as inspiration for the Monster Hunter series in terms of content. Best example for everyone who even remotely remembers it, Minato mentioning she might lay an egg. Anyways, egg-laying Wyverians aside, if the Diva being similar to the white-dressed girl from Freedom Unite holds any truth to it, the only way we'll truly know is when Capcom provides us more information on the matter. With that said, whilst the Diva being linked to the White Fatalis may just be a fun conversation within the community, I do think there's potential that Capcom may reintroduce the Fatalis at some point in the future within Wilds. However, I don't think they'll be reintroducing the ancestral dragon, but rather its Crimson counterpart, the Crimson Fatalis. Now, the main reason I personally believe Crimson Fatalis may be more of a candidate for returning in Wilds is mostly due to the events of Iceborne. Since we slew the Fatalis back in Iceborne, one of the key things people began to speculate in Wilds is that the Black Dragon is capable of regenerating. This is thanks to the Zoshia's own abilities of regeneration. Whilst I previously covered how the Zoshia's regeneration abilities may originate from a different dragon altogether, it's possible Capcom may potentially see this topic within the community and utilize it as a means to bring back Fatalis in Wilds. If Capcom plays on the idea of the Fatalis regenerating itself in the series thanks to the heavy interest of the community regarding this topic, they can actually bring it back in Wilds and have it retreat to the eastern regions and begin the process of growing stronger due to being defeated by the Research Commission back in Iceborne. And to give context for those of you that don't know, the Crimson Fatalis is believed to be an individual that was driven away from Castle Shrade and retreated to volcanic regions such as Ingle Isle in order to recover from its injuries. Due to being driven away from Shrade, the Fatalis rage against all of humanity welled up inside to the point that it caused its body to glow crimson red and one of its horns to mutate to an exaggerated size. Since the Crimson Fatalis was said to retreat from Shrade after being driven away, this would be the perfect opportunity for Capcom to actually canonize the Crimson Fatalis, as they now have the perfect foundation to reintroduce the monster without having to recreate its lore from the ground up. They can simply connect the events between games to demonstrate how each generation deals with a variation of Fatalis within the series. Currently, as we're only in the base game of Wilds, it's doubtful we'll see the return of the Black Dragon or any of its variations with any upcoming title updates. As it currently stands, there are no Elder Dragons in general to be found within the Forbidden Lands, and the next upcoming monster we know to return is the Lagiacrus. There may be some lore implications regarding the absence of Elder Dragons in the Forbidden Lands, but that's a topic for another video. That said, Capcom may reintroduce Elder Dragons in the Forbidden Lands in a manner similar to how they did it in Base Rise, in that they get reintroduced without giving away any hints that certain Elder Dragons are returning. The only Elder Dragon that is likely to return depending on how the story goes in Wilds is the Shigaro Magala, as the presence of Gore Magala usually indicates that Shigaro Magala would not be far behind. If so, then there may be other Elder Dragons that follow the Shigaro Magala to the Forbidden Lands, but whether it's new or returning Elders, that remains to be seen. Now overall, this topic of the Diva being linked to the old Fatalis has truly demonstrated how much the community has become invested in the lore of the series, and it's truly amazing to behold. With the developers of the series themselves even using these topics of conversations as plot points in the series lore, there's always something to look forward to within the series in terms of lore and ecology. With that said, what do you think of the Diva being a herald for the White Fatalis in Monster Hunter Wilds? And do you have any theories of your own regarding any monsters and characters being connected with one another within the Monster Hunter series? Do let us know your thoughts, opinions, and theories regarding this topic and any other topics within the Monster Hunter series in general. And as always, if you enjoyed these videos, please consider hitting the like on the video itself, leaving a comment down below, and subscribing to the channel so you can go ahead and catch up on any other content that I might be doing in future. Until then, I hope you enjoyed this video. Thanks ever so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Onward and upward.